Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and I am going to give you a fast S&P update, and then to announce a special show Sunday night going into Monday morning. We'll be trading live the S&P futures overnight, starting about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you're out there in Europe and Asia and want to take part in some pretty cool trading, stop by DayTraderRadio.com and you'll see we'll be on live then. There'll be a first try at that, because what I'm seeing here, and we're just going to go over the markets quick here. A lot of volatility this last 2 weeks. Really, over the last 4 months we've been very choppy, and it's mainly due to the overhanging news in Europe. It's nothing I can't say that no one already knows. But what I could do is on the patterns here show you exactly what we're looking at. The last really good setup was here when we had the oversold daily stochastics in a 1, 2, 3 pattern, which we came down to 4, and we were looking for that reversal candlestick, and we got that. That was right after Thanksgiving. We got an explosive move, and this brought us right up to this trend line, and we stopped it. We got overbought, and we in the process of this pullback now, and you can see the daily stochastics rolling back down. And the one thing that concerns me is the lack of, we have this slow grindage, but we're not really selling off hard in the face of a lot of bad news coming out of Europe. Nothing being done, nothing being settled or anything. But it doesn't mean that we still can't fall off. The problem is we had options expiration week, just past week. We had a lot of choppiness, nothing really given either way. The 60-minute chart did give us a great setup at one point, back down off of this lower flag. And we can take a look at this as an important level to look at. Look how fast we got overbought, and we crossed back over. It's just basically because of this downward channel line. So, as these levels play out, we continue to look at certain things. We look at recognizable patterns that are playing out in the market, directional moves on the momentum-based stochastics. Right now, we have a downward channel. And we have an oversold, we had an overbought stochastics now turning over and seeing some seller pressure. And we have a kind of a bearish flag inside of a downward flag, or a downward channel, an upward channel into a downward channel. So the possibility of a breakdown here is really good. I'd really want to see that 60-minute stochastic pull back before we really start to take a look at any aggressive longs. But as we know, news is going to be the final catalyst in this market. So this pattern typically breaks to the upside, so we have to just continue to keep that in the back of our minds too. And if we do get down to this level and we're holding off of these recent lows, that will be like a little divergence here. Going back onto the daily chart, you're going to see something different here. You're going to see two patterns within a pattern. The first one we really identify, if we take away this upper trend line and this lower trend line, you see that we're really developed this 1, 2, 3 pattern, and this is an upward pattern, and typically this breaks to the downside. So this is concerning, as this pattern plays out. The other thing we are looking at is the channel line that was up here and this lower channel line that was here, and this really develops another nice downward channel. So a breakdown to this could easily bring us all the way down to the bottom part, and that could be some decent selling in the market. But we haven't triggered that yet, and we don't know where that's going to come in when we do get, overbought, oversold indications in the market. And we don't know what kind of news is going to come out. So we're really going to keep things on the shorter term time frame. And, as we watched, I'm going to show you an interesting chart. We take a look at the S&P mini chart that we've been following the last 2 weeks. We've established this really intense downward channel. And, during the show, I've been marking out the high probability setups that we've been seeing based off the 1 minute chart, but really based off of this large channel. And on Friday, we pushed right up against the top part of the channel line, and we fell off of that. Now we left off Friday really forming this bearish flag, and the potential of the drop off is there. Now we'll see what happens. Sunday night going into Monday morning. That's the reason I'm going to be live on the air at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Sunday night, Monday morning. So I invite everyone out there who would like to, join me to just tune in, DayTraderRadio.com. You'll see the live show right on the front page, and we'll be calling the markets. I'll be calling the markets live, and really going to be using first time I'll be really introducing some trading live that we've been working on. We're working on a confluence of indicators over the last year, and doing the back testing. It's been a lot of work. We had programmers in here too, working on combining everything into a nice little indicator. And I've been back testing it for the last couple months, live on the air. And I'd like to take it into the overnight market, because we know that there's a little less volatility if we go back out and just take a look at when the market really the volume starts to come in on the market. You can take a look at, of course, 9:30, but overnight markets. Let's see what we got. I don't want to go out here. Again, you can see 3 o'clock. This is Tuesday, 3 o'clock. 2:30, 3 o'clock, the market really starts to turn on, and we start to get some good action. And we look at Tuesday, and we go through Tuesday night. Then again, 2:30 to 3 o'clock, the volume really starts to pick up. Asia and Europe open up. And from that point on, we got some really nice action, overnight action. Be it upside or downside, I just want to be, we want to at least have give us a few more hours of trading and experience some of the overnight trading and see how it differs from the intraday trading, because the volume and the volatility intraday has been very severe, and there has a lot, there's a lot of concern on, just being caught in different news that comes out of Europe. The spikes in the market's been very, 2-3 point spikes in a minute, and we're, I think the hardest part of the trade is really the definition of your risk versus reward, and we'll be practicing that and using that on Sunday night, and really defining that right now. Working with a 2-point stop on the futures. It could be a little tight in this case. We really want to be in the directional trade of the market, so we want to identify that early on, and then kind of take the higher probability setups off of that. And I'll talk a lot more about this. I'll talk about the whole style and everything Sunday night. So I will see you then. And again, we'll be trading from Sunday night right into Monday and all day Monday. And I'll catch you there on air then. So, DayTraderRockStar, and just one last touch here. I want to show you one last thing on the ES here, on the S&P. Even though we have this downward channel, there's a lot of stocks that are setting up. I call big industrial stocks, and like the Caterpillars of the world, giving us those basing patterns, these inverted head and shoulder patterns in the oversold stochastics. That's one of the things I'm looking for. That possibly could foretell a break to the upside. The news again is going to be a factor, and again going into the holiday, Christmas and New Year's, we're going to have lighter volume going into Christmas. Next week, as we approach Christmas, the volume is going to drop off. Then we have Christmas on next Sunday. Then Monday we're off, and then we have the potential of the Santa Claus rally. And we might see some buying before that as people take position into that rally. But I think next week is going to be an important week, but it also has to be a very cautious week. And I think we need to get into the beginning of January to really see a resolution of some of these patterns. Next week is going to be volatile, and we want to really take a cautious look. Be in front of the markets. Be ready. Have our fingers on the triggers, but also be super cautious going into it, because like I said, we don't know what news is going to come out. We don't know the direction. There was a lot of news out on Friday, and the market seemed to absorb it. So that's a positive for the market. Yet some of these patterns are playing out as a negative pattern. But one pattern that we're looking at here is the inverted head and shoulders pattern. That left shoulder, this possible head, and this possible right shoulder here. And we zoom out, you could actually see that. And we could take away these channel lines. You can actually see this as a possible, inverted head and shoulders pattern with a possible break to the upside. So this could be a very powerful move up if we do break this. And so we just really need to watch this. If we could get back down on the oversold, get back down here, rotate back up, and get some momentum, we could get this hyper spike. I'm leaning towards a hyper spike, a quick rally similar to what we saw on the week after Thanksgiving, where we saw this explosive move. Because we're not really selling off, we're not making lower lows, but that could change early this week, and we could easily sell off. But the overall patterns, we got to watch for the downside too. So very cautious week next week, going into next week. Everything starts Sunday night, 3 o'clock, DayTradingRadio.com. Hope to see you there. Spread the word. It's going to be a great show, and if it works out and people like it, I'll be there each and every morning, at least starting on Sunday nights for the overnight trade. So let me know. If you're out there in Asia and in Europe and you're tuning in for the first time, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear from you. That's DayTradingRadio.com.